I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahawashi is who the world inly calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakak Wadash is the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew. And I want to give a double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well in the ministry, teaching His word and believing His word, Lord willing that they can continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing His word in the same spirit, that they endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwat Yum, that are believers of this faith and this truth, Lord willing that you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. The title of this lesson is, Before the Truth, we all was moving in the flesh, and through Yahawashi we are reconciled. Right now we get to come back unto the Lord. Now being reconciled because Yahawashi died on the cross, we have to be cleansed by this word. You know, it's not just, oh, okay, Jesus died for us and that's the end all be all. You have to come and be cleansed from your old ways. You have to be cleansed on what you can do and what you can do and what you can't do. You have to be cleansed from the doctrine that you was getting in Christianity, the Baptist church, even if you was atheist or you was Muslim, you was believing in Buddha, right? We have to get cleansed from those things. We have to understand who the Lord and what He is going to do. We have to understand why these things happen to us, right? Why was we moving in the way that we move, you know? Because before, Israel was a wholesome nation under the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. But we failed because of our flesh. We wanted to do our own will. We looking at other nations. And it's different times before Yahawashi, during Yahawashi. We're in this end time where all Israel was asleep for 350 years without this wisdom and knowledge. Then the Lord put that breath of life in us, and now we're standing on our feet, starting with the men and the women. The men and the women have a different stature when it comes to this faith. But it doesn't matter. We're all filthy rags. The men is going to still exceed over the women when it comes to this faith and this ministry because the Lord put them as the face front. We're supposed to look at the men as an example, right? Women even supposed to look at the men as an example so that they can build that manly courageous, so that they can overcome certain things in this world that will hold a bearing on them, right? Because certain women, even men, some of us count on worldly things to give us comfort. Money, you know, sex, video games, all these things to give us comfort and to relieve us, right? But whenever we had a problem, we went to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. When you go back into Rebecca, when she wanted to understand why she was thus with two childs in the womb going against each other, she went to inquire the Lord, right? When trouble was happening to Israel, they went to go inquire the Lord. When they was going to captivity in the book of Judges, they went to inquire the Lord, and the Lord sent them a judge, right? When Israel wanted to hear the words of the Lord, they went to the prophets. But then when they want to do their own thing, they turned their back. Jeremiah 32 verse 33. This is all about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And that's the one thing our flesh in this world don't want us to count on is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. You don't only just count on the Lord just by words. This is why we have these scriptures to hold and meditate, right? Every day you want to sink in things that you learn, and so that you can remember when you have a problem or a situation, you run to these verses, and that's you running to the Lord because His word is divine, you know? In being in this veiled body, it makes us hold on to certain things. We don't have that power, but we have the power in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, you know? So I'm going to just bring out a few scriptures, you know, and, you know, Lord willing, you're edified and you continue to pursue the Lord because that's what the flesh does not like, you know? So let's get into it. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, right? Because we know the circumcision made by hand is the flesh going towards a man, directed towards a man. But now we come in this thing when we're reconciled to the Lord, you circumcise your heart. To really be a child of Yahawashi, you must be a Israelite inwardly, right? I believe that's Romans chapter 2 when it's directed to the Jews, but you have to know it's 12 tribes, right? So Romans chapter 2 verse 28, it says, for he is not a Jew which is one outwardly, neither is the circumcision which is outwardly in the flesh. The real circumcision is the inward, right? Your in man, right? Your spirit, right? What is within you, you have to circumcise it. And us being in the flesh, you got to renew yourself daily, because this flesh is at a battle. Verse 29, but he is a Jew which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit and not in the letter, which is the law, who praise is not of men but of God, right? So we want to get praise of God and not of men. Oh man, brother, you doing the law. But us believing in the Lord and us changing who we are in the inward, right? We know that we deal with certain things because we were Gentiles in the flesh. You're going to always have those things that's going to come back to you. But through your faith, you repent. Sometimes we're going to slip because we're in this flesh. But it's about, do you hold yourself accountable on what you did, you know? And do you go harder the next day? Hey, you might slip next week. You might slip next month. You might slip tomorrow. But do you still get back on your back? I mean, do you still get back up, or do you lay on your back? You get back up and you still push towards the mark. You still gonna face towards the east and pray to the Lord. You gonna hold yourself accountable. Lord, I'm an unfaithful and unworthy servant, and you got me in this truth. You know, I just did this, but I'm still thinking of you. Yahawashi, please help me to remove this. You still are able to call on the Lord and tell him your problems. You can probably get done praying and then a few hours later slip again. And some people was doing it willfully, right? Where they have the plan, oh, I'm about to do this, man, or I don't even care. But you can have the feeling in your heart you don't want to do it. Wait, what is that? Romans chapter 7. Salaki. Romans chapter 7 in verse 15. It says, for that which I do I allow not, for what I would, that do I not, but what I hate, that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more me, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. As long as we in this flesh, sin dwell in you. It's sometimes you could be doing good for 30 days and you don't slip, you know? Sometimes you might not even do something in the flesh, but you could do something in the mind. Sometimes you could be thinking something, either a lust or whatever it is. Somebody else might not know. You just went off. A lot of us is trying to perfect the what we do in this body, but then you're not even talking about the mind. This whole flesh as a whole, it starts with the thought of your mind. That's why it says in Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 9, nobody knows the heart is deceitful above all things. You master your heart by cleaving to Yahawashi. He is the get out way. He's the assurance of helping ourselves. Sometimes when I'm about to slip, I try to hurry up and either read or go pray. Sometimes that urge, that fire might be in me and I probably already slipped. But at the end of the day, do I get back up? Do I rebuke myself? Right? Sometimes I'm talking to myself like, man, this flesh is weak, man. I gotta do better. And then I'm probably calling on the Lord. Sometimes, hey, when you can't control yourself or you don't see yourself calling on the Lord too much, sometimes you might have to break your body down and fast. Some people think fasting is just chilling. No, most of the time when you're really fasting, if you're really into it, you're dedicating your whole 24 hours to the Lord, right? It can be praying, right? And it can be reading, right? Sometimes you could be watching a movie, but if you don't have no understanding of the scriptures, you're going to still be confused with what you're watching. You have to know that sometimes in the movies, they're lying about certain things. So it's better for you to read It's better for you to watch a video where somebody giving you edification and you taking the time to write the precepts. That's work. You pause in the video. You go into the verse before they go to the verse, and then you read it, and you trying to have your thought, maybe this is what it's going into. Then you play it and you allow that brother to explain it. You're really getting in the spirit when you're trying to learn. The flesh don't want that, you know? And every day, sometimes you might not be fasting, and you so used to getting in these scriptures, you so used to thinking of the Lord, you're breaking down the flesh and your thoughts by every time you're dedicating your days to the Lord. This is why men are going to oversee women in any situation that they having a problem with, good or bad. You know, I can, Lord willing, I overcome thoughts in my mind, things that I have that I'm dealing with. Nobody knows unless I tell them. But for me, I know that the Lord made me strong, that I deal with it myself. When I tell somebody, I'm telling you. But for me, I deal with my things because it's my problems. But when it's overwhelming me and it's taking me out my zone, maybe I can't read, maybe I'm feeling maybe I might not feel like a doer. Most times I'm going to confess this to somebody because now I'm not a doer and I'm looking for reassurance. Mostly I do that to my brothers because then they can sharpen me and hit me with the sword, man. Because that's what we need. We need to cut this flesh, you know. But then sometimes the Lord gave me the strength to overcome myself because I'm being diligent, but it's not me. The Lord is making me diligent, that if I see something or if I'm thinking of something can be weighing in my head. I'm already cutting it up with the scriptures, but I'm still thinking on it. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm not the only one dealing with this. So I might have in my mind, please give me a way to do a lesson on it. So I'm doing a lesson on it. I know I'm in the flesh. I know other people in the flesh. I know a lot of people ain't going to understand this truth. And I can't be Captain Save-A-Ho. But I got to understand that the Lord allowed me to come in this truth. And before, I was just like that nigga. I was just like that female doing this, doing that, and doing this, you know? But the only thing make me different is the Lord called me. So I can see my reflection in somebody else, and I can see where I'm at right now, that I got to continue to press towards the mark. And if they not going to do it, I'm going to press even harder. And if they not going to shine, I hope the Lord send me somebody that's a reflection of the person I care for, or somebody that I just met. And I'm like, man, this person genuine. I hope they get it. And then if they don't, maybe the Lord will send me another brother, another sister with the same spirit, and I'm able to pour all that energy on them, and they might get it. You know, so let me read a few more, then I get to the other precepts. Verse 18, it says, "For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to do will, for to will is present with me. But how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do." It's because of this flesh, this veiled body. You have to say it with confidence. You can't, we're going to slip because we're still in this dumbass flesh. But in most cases, the Lord allow you to have days where you diligent. Sometimes it could just be a thought. You could be angry over siege or anger of a brother. You could be thinking a thought on a brother or a sister, right? You still going off. Even if you try, let me not watch porn. You might not be watching porn, but you could be thinking of something else wicked in your fucking mind. You could be watching a movie and a woman, you could see a man half naked, and then that start making you think, oh man, I wonder how his body is. Or hey, let me see what this woman look like. I bet you, oh, her chest is amazing. Your mind wanders. So even if you're not fleshly stealing from somebody or this, you got the plague of the mind. It's so much that we slip and fall and do, you know? Sometimes you could just be lying to somebody and you think, hey, I'm saving them. And then you could be lying to them. But guess what? You going off. Especially if it's an Israelite. Especially if it's somebody in the truth. You know? That's good. And the Lord is going to make the weight heavy on you. We have to take accountability and accept this flesh is weak. That's how we overpower ourselves, when we admit and know this flesh is weak. And the more that you do things that the flesh don't like, the stronger you get. But guess what? The left-hand side, that's why I'm showing these pictures. The left-hand side is going to always whisper in your ear. Because the more, when we're giving ourselves to the Lord, the more valuable you are. As soon as you stop giving yourself to Yahawashi, the less value you are. You know, this is why when you in the world, you're so consumed that you become easily distracted. You know, this is why we want to be thankful for us to be reconciled, is that the Lord allowed us to come back into this knowledge. Now that you're in this knowledge, you want to stay in it. This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 21 to 23 in the KJV, and this is what it reads. It says, in you that are sometime alienated and enemies in your own mind. You see that? We're enemies. To who? To Yahawashi in our own mind. We're enemies to ourselves by wicked works. Yet now have he reconciled, right? Brought us back to the Lord, right? Bringing us together, right? It says in the body of his flesh through death, Yahawashi dying, to present you holy, set apart, and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. If ye continue in the faith, that's the whole point. For even though Yahawashi died, we have to come into the faith. When you're in the faith, you have to continue this walk, grounded and settled. When we start doing the things that of the old world, that was a total sin, brothers laying with another brother's wife, you going back into your old ways, right? You're not being grounded and settled. And then the Lord might make it hard for you to really fully come in this truth. But then say we in this truth and we're slipping and you're still in the faith, that's a difference. But you still have to overcome the flesh with the truth. So it says, and ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. You got to be unmovable. Stand fast. Sometimes we slip, but is it going to move you out of your faith? Is it going to move you out of your program? How you always is trying to feed your house or feed your temple with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. As soon as you stop feeding yourself, the worst of the things that you do are going to grow. But guess what? The more you give time to the Lord, sometimes your flesh is going to get the best of you. You slip. You could be asleep and you can have a wet dream of something that don't pertain to somebody else. Some of us might lie, oh, I had a dream about you, and you could really be having a dream about somebody else. In your dream, you had that. Guess what? Before you went to sleep, you probably had that in your thoughts. And guess what? It nourished it, and now it became a action in your dream. You went off. So you got to know, sometimes we go off in many ways, and it always go off of what you're feeding yourself. TV, social media. If you don't have the control, guess what? You're going to be hit left and right. So again, verse 23, if ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister. So I'm going to read that again, but I'm going to read that in the NLT. First, Colossians chapter 1, verse 21 to 23 says, this includes you who were once far away from God. See, we were far away from God when you're fully living in the flesh. You were his enemies, separated from him by your evil thoughts and actions. See, that shows you your mind, your mind and how we play it out, our actions. But we know what love is now. 1 John 3 and 18. Love is a deed in truth, your actions towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. It says, yet now he has reconciled you to himself through the death of a Mashiach in his physical body. As a result, he has brought you into his own presence, and you are holy and blameless as you stand before him without a single fault. Right now that we're in this thing, the things that you did in the flesh, that's a single fault. It's still there, and guess what? The Lord allowed you to still remember it. That's part of this affliction, and it makes you drive you like, dang, why would he choose me in this? And I just did that. Now that you have the memory, you did those things, and now you came in the truth and knowing Yahawashi is a so-called dark man. The Lord is only dealing with the black, Latinos, and natives. The prophecies, the parables, and breakdowns. The more you like, wow, this is amazing, man. The Lord is undefeated, and then you're gonna still remember the things that you did 2 years ago, 5 years ago. What happens when that spirit hits you in Jacob's trouble, and you able to remember what you did in your past life? That's going to afflict you. That's why the Lord blessed us with no remembrance of what we did way back then. Because a lot of y'all couldn't even handle, you can't handle half the stuff you went through now when you come in this truth. You know? But that's why we let go and let God. Verse 23, it says, but you must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it, right? So the more that I believe in this truth more than the things that I have done, and I understand I was moving in the Gentile in the flesh. So when I'm going to make my flesh mad, I'm going to pursue the Lord as much as I can. I might slip. I might slip. I might have a thought. But I'm not about to let nobody stop me from continuing to pursuing the Lord. And it's all the Lord that can make me stop. It's all the Lord. As soon as I feel like I don't want to do no video no more, I don't want to pray no more, I don't want to read no more, don't want to teach outside, going to the highways and byways, until the Lord remove me. I want to keep enduring until the Lord remove me from teaching on the highways and byways. I want to keep on enduring all the way through Jacob's trouble. And I'm not about to let nobody stop me. Nobody that's in this flesh, not even myself. But it's all Yahawashi, because he says, but you must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it. I have to do this, man. And I'm going to believe, and I'm saying this in the flesh, but do I really believe? So I got to count on Yahawashi to keep me in this, man. St. John 6:44, unless the Heavenly Father draw you to his Son, Yahawashi is going to raise us up in the last days. How do you really know you're drawn to the Lord? When you're praying, when you're seeking a lesson, right? Or when you read it, you know? That's how we stay firmly in this truth. And then when you're not reading or praying, fasting or teaching, is when you could be watching something on TV and it comes to your mind of a precept, or it come to your mind like, damn, they Gentiles in the flesh. Everything that you're learning and everything that's the opposite of what you're learning, of what's towards Yahweh, we get to see it on TV. You get to see it on movies, man. So again, verse 23, but you must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it. Don't drift away from the assurance you received when you heard the good news. Don't drift away. This is not a Fast and the Furious Tokyo drift. You don't drift away. The good news has been preached all over the world. And I, Paul, have been appointed as God's servant to proclaim it. And some of us men that's teaching this, the Lord had put us in a position to proclaim his word. This is true. This is why I'm teaching it, because I'm dealing with it, man. But guess what? Me doing this lesson is me telling the flesh and even other people that I'm looking at that's not in this faith. They have to know that you're still in that Gentile state of mind, moving in the flesh, just like these heathens, you know. And this is a beautiful lesson. If I did something a day ago, a week ago, a year ago, that I know that I slip sometimes. But at the end of the day, I know that Yahawashi is real. Just because I slip up, even if it happened a month ago, a week ago, even if it was watching porn or whatever it was, nothing is going to hold me back from seeking the Lord unless it's the Lord, because he's the one that put us in a strong delusion. Yahawashi is the one that's allowing you to continue going your course. I'm still here, baby. He allowed me to go on that course. Guess what? When certain things happen, it's those spirits coming again, because the more you attract yourself to Yahawashi, the more they trying to whisper in your ear. And sometimes when brothers was at camp, brothers just had a thought like, man, this brother, man, this and this and that. Yo, I hope this brother don't do this. You got thoughts in your mind, man. That's taking you away from doing your teaching over here. And, hey, yo, brother's got a precept. Oh, nah, never mind. Then brothers might feel like you upset us. No, you over here having a plague in the mind. You know, you could be at work and you seeing something, right? I'm always aggressive and ready to go. And sometimes I rebuke myself, you know, because everybody not going to get this. You know what I mean? I'm not in this thing to debate nobody. I'm not in this thing to force anybody to believe, right? But you have to understand your trial and the tribulation that Yahawashi put you in, you know? So now let's get back to this last precept, and then I'll close out. Okay? I'm going to go to Colossians chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, and you being dead in your sins, in the uncircumcision of the flesh, of your flesh, have he quickeneth together with him, made alive. Right? He have quickened him together with him, made you alive, having forgiven you all trespasses. Right? The Lord is forgiving us of our trespasses, of our sins. That's what you really need to know about Yahawashi, And then even more, the comfort is that Yahawashi allowed you to be in his truth. When you know the name of the Lord, that's another confirmation. Whatever we did in the world before this truth, the Lord blessed us. But now just imagine if you bring it, whatever you did in the world, into the truth, and you doing all of it, and whatever it is, hey, you're being wicked in this truth, you know. But at the end of the day, if we let the things that we did before this truth, and we still working on letting it go, you're a work in progress, you know. But a work in progress I'm a work in progress, and you're not progressing. You could be in this truth for a year. You should have grown within a year. If it's 2 years, your progress is way better, where the left-hand side can whisper in your ear. And guess what? If it's 7 days in a week, they might get you 2 times out of 7. Hey, if you did good for 30 days, he might get you 4 times out of 30 days, because that's your strength in the spirit. But now 30 days come, 15 times out the month, you just got fucked up. That means you got to double up. Say 7 times out of the week, he got you 4 times, and 3 times he didn't. Guess what? The more he got you and it outweighs the time he didn't, that means you have to double up. You have to double up on your reading, you know, and double up on your reading. You got to make sure that you're reading and learning. That's why it comes to, especially women, if they are single, right, that they always watch videos so that they can get their questions answered, right? Or women that's married, that, guess what? You can afflict your flesh by reading something and don't get it. Write down a question. Hey, yo, love, can you break this down for me? Guess what? You're going to afflict the flesh. Because sometimes, yes, we have a short attention span. We can be reading, and after we get done, what we read is not resonating with us, right? So sometimes you got to pace yourself. Sometimes while you're reading, break it down by somebody teaching you. Or sometimes you go watch a video. Sometimes you might go yield and go pray. Or you just you have your moment to your space, and you try to meditate what you learn, right? The things that we're worried about in the world, and you try to meditate on the Lord, it's hard to do those things, because the things of the world is of the flesh, but the things of the Lord is spiritual. So you have to really sometimes let go and let God. Sometimes you have to release your thought. Sometimes I'm always saying, Yahweh Shema Shai, Yahweh Shema Shai, Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh. I want to remove this thought. And it always works, because I have to be sincere when I'm saying it. And usually whatever thought that I could have in my mind, he removes it. And it gives me the woosah, and I'm able to think about his word. Before, when I was at work, hearing the scriptures, it was hard for me to focus, because I'm moving, I'm doing this, and my mind going everywhere else. So now that every time where I'm reading, because now I put myself on a double schedule of reading this book, to make sure that I actually did it that day, that I did it this day, that I did it that day, that I did it this day, to keep myself busy. So now that I'm at work and I've been putting myself on that type of schedule, now when I'm at work, I'm able to hear a lesson and really be in tune and get stuck and be like, whoa. And then I start doing a Lammy off the video. And that helps me give reassurance that I'm growing by paying attention. You know, that then when a weekday come, I can go in my own studio and make music just for fun, instead of getting on the game or doing something else. But the Lord drew me away from even making music, that I'm always thinking of perfecting the craft, the delivery of teaching. And in my mind, I am a human just like you. I'm thinking about a family member. I'm thinking about a friend. I'm thinking about a woman from that time that probably knew me but didn't understand this. Hey, Lord willing that they get it. And then you see your family, you see old homies, you know, you go talk to them and they just say certain things. This shit hit you. Family members might think that you weird, right? People that see you on social media, man, yo, you used to be cool, but now you got mad deep, like you mad weird. You look like you're boring or whatever. Where you hear where people actually tell you, it's not like, oh, I'm crying, oh my goodness, they think this, but it's just a sad, like, you used to be cool with this person, right? It could be a brother that you knew in the world and you were so tight, you look him at as a brother, but the Lord removed you away from them. It made them move to another city. And then that lets you know how precious you is. And sometimes it put me in a moment where nobody knows. I might break down and cry. I might have a moment to my own self, like, man, Lord, why would you choose me? All the things that I did, it's things people might not even know. Lord, why? And I always get my answer. when he bring me back to teaching, when he bring me back to reading, when he bring me back to reading. When I'm watching a movie and it doesn't pertain anything to the Lord and I start thinking of scriptures, I have a thought like, yo, I can recognize that in the scriptures. Oh, I can see this and that. And then go read something and then it'd be like, yo, that's crazy. I was just watching a movie. Or I go on YouTube and then a brother is bringing out something I was thinking. Something that was lining up, what I was lining up from a movie. This been happening to me for the past few months, man. And it allowed me to ease my thoughts. But I'm still in the flesh. But to know that my flesh is not overpowering me, I'm not trying to have a worldly conversation. I'm not trying to yield to the flesh and yield to its needs. Yield to its needs, right? I'm trying to fill this flesh up with spiritual things so the flesh can get mad. The left side gonna come regardless. But I know Yahawashi is stronger, man. You know? So Lord willing, this is edifying to the hopeful elect. Just remember, before this truth, we were all moving in the flesh. For the ones that's not in the truth, they're still moving in the flesh. That's why you have to seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. We can't save everybody, but you got a chance to work out your own salvation between Yahweh Shema Shai every day with your diligent work. So Lord willing, again, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom, shalom.